open. But let's go ahead and take a call. We can do that because there are some calls coming in. Dylan in New York. We also have some New York talk. Dylan, go ahead. Dylan, you there? Let's put Dylan back on hold, see if we can get to him here in a minute. Dylan was calling. He's a federal worker on furlough, so we'll try to get to him. They shut off his phone. It's not working. Sorry, Dylan, not to make light of your situation, but phone lines are open for you. Let's, while you go ahead and screen that, let's go to Henry, who is calling in Texas. Henry, go ahead. Henry, you there?
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good.
I'm here.
Go ahead.
Yeah. If Russia was a hoax, why did Marco Rubio sign off on a Senate report saying Russia tried to influence our election?
Well, I mean, Henry, that's actually a pretty easy statement. There's a difference between the Russia collusion hoax, which you're bringing up.
Yes.
That's what Russia is. And what Russia having bot farms, troll farms, trying to have an influence. Yeah. Also, the influence isn't as it seems that they tried to put forward, that they wanted Donald Trump to win.
No, it's chaos.
Right.
They try to actually put bad information out there about when you need to register to vote. I mean, it gets pretty technical, so that like people are confused about when they're supposed to be voting. They confuse people on what candidates, where they stand on the issues, where events are going to be held. So it's about sowing confusion in the United States to make our election system, which is the greatest in the world, look bad. It's not about, hey, we just want to get this one elected. They want to hurt both of them. And if you see what they were doing with Hillary Clinton and with Trump and all the classified server, all of her stuff, they were doing it to both. This is a country that looks at the election process in the U.S. adversarially and tries to flex its muscles. And I think we gave them way too much credit this time by including them in so many reports based off the fact is that Steele dossier was a complete work of fiction, and those bots are just putting out fake info. So it's all fake. But that doesn't mean they weren't trying to do something. Right. It just wasn't being directed by their agent Donald Trump, which is what Democrats were trying to tell us.
Well, and Jordan, I think I'm actually glad
you can even say that, because that's what the Democrats were telling people, and enough Americans were actually buying into. He was literally an agent. Donald Trump, the casinos, the hotels, he was an agent of communist Russia. What a communist he is.
Yeah.
I actually am glad that Henry called in with his snarky phrasing of that question, because I think once you get further removed from what we all had to live through, what the country really had to live through, it does become this like binary choice of either Russia was supporting Trump and influenced the election and it was all fake, or nothing happened at all.
Hindsight's usually 20/20, but,
right.
but in this situation,
in reality,
discontent.
Russia tries to influence every election. We, as the United States, try to influence elections. Iran, in the last election,
we have American propaganda that goes around the world that you can't hear here.
I mean, the Obama administration was paying Mahmoud Abbas's son to try and unseat Bibi Netanyahu. Like, the fact that there is foreign influence in elections is not something that cannot be true if the Russia thing is a hoax. There is influence campaigns, but it doesn't mean that the Steele dossier is true, that what Brennan did was based and predicated on real actionable intelligence. This isn't something that you have to have one or the other. The fact that people try to hit Marco Rubio for saying that we looked at this, the Senate Intel community, and yes, Russia did try to influence the election, does not mean that everything else, or that he agrees with John Brennan. It's quite the opposite. You can be a rational human being in this world and say something like, we see that they tried to influence the election, and not then be like, so the Steele dossier has to be true.
By the way, you can also be wrong.
It's true as well.
You can also say something and then realize 8 years later, 10 years later, you've made a mistake. Okay, that's not necessarily impossible in politics. I believe a lot of people have done that. A lot of people run political campaigns against their political opponents, and then guess what do? They endorse the person who they just pretty much called the devil for the last 6 months. That is not uncommon. Do I think it's a good thing? No, not really. But of course, that's American politics and how it's been for a very long time. I don't see that changing. It is a blood sport. You are ruthless against your opponent, and then you have to coalesce. You have to get together. Look at some of the horrible things that both you could put President Trump, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, all that group of people said about each other. And I'm not letting any of them off the hook. It's not like Marco didn't say bad things about Trump and that Ted Cruz didn't say bad things about Trump. But when it comes down to it, you look at things in hindsight, and hindsight changes everything. And of course, things change as you're currently in a Trump presidency and in a different world. That being said, we got a couple minutes left in this half hour. I want to encourage you